Macmillan Audio presents The Spy in Moscow Station. A Counterspy's Hunt for a Deadly Cold War Threat by Eric Haseltine. Read for you by the author.
To my wife and soulmate, Chris. And to Charles Gandy's wife and soulmate, Freda.
Foreword. When I assumed command of NSA in March 1999, I quickly realized that, although the intelligence agency was a national treasure, it needed to be shaken up to meet the daunting challenges of the new millennium. 9/11 made the need to re-energize NSA even more acute, so I reached outside of the government for top industry talent to help me accelerate the agency's transformation. Eric Haseltine, who came from Walt Disney Imagineering, of all places, was perhaps my riskiest and most audacious hire. I brought Eric into the agency to lead and to shake up NSA's Research Directorate, whose mission, in turn, was to shake up and modernize the entire enterprise. Although parachuting a Disney executive with no intelligence experience into a leadership post at NSA raised a lot of eyebrows and generated hallway snickers about General Hayden's Mickey Mouse hire, Eric immediately met and surpassed my expectations for helping to transform the agency. Perhaps his most important accomplishment was to quickly shift NSA's research focus from cool science projects to technologies that made an immediate, substantial, and practical improvement to NSA's core signals intelligence and information assurance missions. The transformation of NSA research that Eric began in mid-2002 proved very timely when the Iraq War erupted early the following year. Rather than sit at his desk in our Fort Meade headquarters, Eric traveled to Iraq and Afghanistan multiple times to get a first-hand look at the needs of NSA officers directly supporting combat operations in the two theaters of war. These trips were the first time in NSA history a director of research had traveled to the pointy end of the spear in order to establish research priorities. Each time Eric returned from one of these trips, I valued his candid take on the effectiveness of NSA's combat support activities. I especially appreciated it when Eric spoke truth to power, as when, in early 2004, he informed me that a good number of NSA's military customers were less than thrilled with the timeliness and effectiveness of NSA support. Based on Eric's input, I ordered immediate changes to the way NSA supported warfighters, shipping several hundred cryptologic support elements to the battlefield and integrating them with warfighters to improve NSA's responsiveness. Getting into the spirit of combat support, Eric also directly engaged NSA research in important challenges, such as reducing casualties from roadside IEDs. For his contributions in this vital area, Eric was awarded the National Intelligence Distinguished Service Medal. In 2005, when President George W. Bush appointed me the first principal deputy director of national intelligence, I brought Eric with me as Associate Director of National Intelligence to lead science and technology for the entire U.S. intelligence community, IC. My hope was that Eric would do for the entire U.S. intelligence enterprise, comprised of no fewer than 16 different intelligence agencies, what he had done at NSA. Shake things up. And shake things up he did. Eric moved swiftly to weave the disparate threads of science and technology efforts across the IC into a coherent whole, even when the threads strenuously resisted being woven. Both I and the IC's overall boss, John Negroponte, Director of National Intelligence, fielded multiple calls from agencies across the community complaining of Eric's aggressive moves to unify and rationalize science and technology pursuits across America's far-flung intelligence enterprise. Perhaps Eric's most controversial and important move was to work with his deputy and successor, Steve Nixon, to create the IC's own version of DARPA, IARPA, Intelligence Advanced Research Projects Activity. IARPA filled a glaring and dangerous hole in the IC's science and technology portfolio, high-risk, high-reward endeavors that brought about revolutionary
Sample complete. Ready to continue?